Floodlit Fish is the last of a long line of what I'm going to call torch levels. The original DKC had Torchlight Trouble with Squawks, DKC2 had Glimmer's Galleon with Glimmer, and now DKC3 has Floodlit Fish with these guys. I couldn't ask for a better visual representation of DKC3's status in the trilogy. This is part 33 of Overthinking Donkey Kong Country 3. Before we get into it, I want to clarify that intro. I love DKC3, but it's significantly different in the context of the trilogy. Nothing we haven't gone over before. DKC and DKC2 share enemies, overworld layouts, composers, and feel very much a part of the same world. Whereas DKC3 was a much bigger leap from DKC2 than 2 was from DKC, and it was a bit of a left turn to boot. They recycled the torch level theme, but didn't introduce an animal buddy for it. And that brings us to the focal point of the level. These guys are called Gleam and Bream. They're palette swapped bounty basses, and instead of popping and sharing collectibles, they light up the stage. Have we talked about Bounty Bass yet? If not, he's essentially the aquatic booty bird. That's it. You spend the entire level as on guard, which makes sense because you need him to activate the fish lights. Not a sentence I ever thought I'd say. I wouldn't call Floodlit Fish a showcase level, as the level isn't really a showcase for On Guard, but still, it's his show all the way. It's a fairly straightforward level, which is a nice change. The lighting does a lot to slow the pacing down, because you're likely to cop a hit if you go in guns blazing. It's one thing to move laterally with reckless abandon. You're more likely to hurt them than they are to hurt you, but descending is a different story altogether. Speaking of descending, Floodlit Fish is unique to not just the water levels of DKC3, but the entire trilogy, in that it's a constant descent from start to finish. It alternates between sharp drops and horizontal layers, and later on it opens up with the illusion of multiple pathways, but aside from a couple little bumps, you're constantly diving. Not only is this cool from a gameplay perspective, keeping things interesting, it's also great visual storytelling. Unlike the previous level, leading us down further into the ridge. That's about as good as it's going to get for the story, I think. It's a descent down into the lower part of the ridge. I don't think this was a conscious decision. If it were, the previous level probably wouldn't be where it is. It's not worth getting bent out of shape over, I guess. This is the third and final water level, and it's kind of a drag that, aside from the darkness, it doesn't seem to be visually distinct in any way. I suppose the darkness is enough, but it would have been cool if it better matched the palette of Razor Ridge. Maybe give the color scheme an autumn feel, with yellows, oranges, browns, reds, pinks, similar to what we'll see in the boss fight. Still, that's definitely nitpicking. I wanted to talk more about the gameplay for this one, but honestly it seems a bit redundant. Bananas mark the paths between the lurchins and the way through more confusing areas. Orange and green Cocos patrol the level. That's everything, and nothing we haven't seen in earlier levels. You could make the argument that the bananas are even more vital here, as visibility isn't great, but seeing as you're rarely fully in the dark, they're somewhat redundant too. Anyway, Razor Ridge has been pretty underwhelming so far, but that isn't to say that these levels are bad. They're all solid. Honestly, I think it's just not my bag. Now with that said, the best is definitely saved for last, and the next level in particular is really cool. It's kind of this game's Animal Antics, only way more fun. Alright, I'm done. Thanks for watching. Also, I forgot to mention, take the wrench we got from Barter to Bjorn in the chairlift above Confused Cliffs, and he'll be able to fix his chairlift, which will get you another banana bird. Okay, that's it. See ya.